Hey guys, today I want to talk about foreign exchange. I also want to talk about ATM cards a little bit, and I want to talk about exchanging your cash and what to bring over here as far as like for your first time here, because a lot of guys are having a lot of problems with cash this week, and they didn't heed my warnings on in a lot of cases, and I want to cover this again a little bit more because a lot of people are reading into some of the information that vloggers give out, and they tend to misunderstand things. And one of the things is this: when you go to exchange your money here, your currency, whether it be Canadian currency, US, UK, whatever country you're from, okay, it has to be crisp bills, always crisp bills, okay, no writing on it. I tell people, carry it in a flat. Make sure that wallet is like a longer wallet, and if you carry it in like a longer wallet, it'll keep it flat. Put it in an envelope so it won't tear or whatever. If you do it that way, you'll have less problems. If you put the money in your wallet, you're going to have problems because they don't have bends in it, possibly creases or what have you, and that's where the problem begins. Because when you go to exchange that money, they want it to look like new. A lot of the places here, I've actually gone with guys to exchange some of their currency. And I looked at their currency, and even I thought it would be fine because I didn't see any tears in it. But because it was in the guy's wallet and the fold where it folds over, and it wasn't really like a fold, like where you increase it with your hand like this here, up and down the fold. It wasn't like that. It was like kind of a bend in the bill from being in the wallet or whatever. And sometimes even that, some of the places will not take your currency. So I tell people, make sure that when you come over here, make sure you have different backups. Okay, I tell people, make sure you have the PIN code for your credit cards. Okay, that's one thing. Make sure you tell your credit card you might be using it in the Philippines. Make sure you have the PIN codes and everything for your ATM. And make sure you have a backup ATM card if possible, if your bank will give you one. And when you go to take money out from your ATMs over here, and you're going to get, I know I'm going to get a lot of argument on this because there are some machines that will let you take out more than $200, which is 10,000 pesos over here. Okay, when you go to an ATM, a lot of guys think you can only take out $200 per day. No, it's $500 per day on most machines. So you can take out $200, $200, and $100, which works out to be 10,000 pesos, and then 5,000 pesos. Okay, so it's pretty close. I mean, you're not gonna get a full. You know, it's just, it'll work out. You'll get your money. You know, you'll get some of your money, and then you'll be fine. But make sure when you come here, you always have the backup money. And I always tell people, have emergency money with you at all times. We had a guy here. He was kind of stranded, actually. He has people sending him money. He's a guy from Canada. He went to one of the other expats. The other expat worked with him. The guy that was sending him the money sent the money to the expat, and the expat gave him his money. Now, I usually don't do stuff like that for people because I just don't feel comfortable doing money transfers for people that I barely know. But this guy was lucky enough that he found one of the expats here that was willing to work with him and did that for him. So he ended up getting his money. But the expat told him also, I'm not going to be doing this anymore, so don't expect it anymore, because I'm only going to do it this once. So that's that. But he was actually almost penniless. That's how broke he was. Okay, he had no backup money. His ATM card had gotten eaten. I believe it was up in China where it got eaten or whatever. And that was his problem. I had another guy call me tonight, a friend of mine from back in Massachusetts, and he's down in Mindanao now, and he's having all kinds of problems with Western Union. Now, the problems he's having, he had problems with Western Union. He had problems with taking money out of the ATM because he was under the understanding that he could only take out 200 or whatever, and that was where part of the problem was, because he can actually take out 500 per day. So I notified him of that, but he was telling me that he's having problems with Remitly, Western Union, and some of the other banks. And if you send more than 1,000 and you're new to using that service, sometimes they'll flag you unless you've used them for a while, and little by little, wait 6 months, do like less than 1,000 all the time, and then bring it up slowly. I've sent money after using them for a while. like 12 to 1500, but I never ever go over 2000. I try to keep it below 1000, and I'll send it a couple times. I'll wait a day or two and I'll send it like another 1000 or whatever. And usually they're okay with 900, 800, whatever. And they don't flag my account because they're just very touchy about that. Western Union, I've sent money through them a lot of times for like 4 years. And just recently, and every time I had a problem with them, I would call them and I would get iCore over here, who answers the phones for them, over here in the mall at Das Marinas. And I would get some lady there and I'd say, hey, where are you? Over in Das Marinas? Because I knew where they would be, or Quezon City or whatever. And the lady would always take care of me, whoever I was talking to. I would tell them I'm an American over here in the Philippines. And we'd start chatting and stuff like that. And she goes, oh, you're all set, so you should be good. But since then, they've changed companies that they work with. So now when I call, I get some guy in Pakistan all the time, or a woman in Pakistan. Most of the time it's a guy. And every time I've talked to them to ask them for help, they don't care. They don't even want to work with me or service me or help me. They won't reopen the account. They won't, they won't give me a reason why it's locked. They don't give me any information. They just want to get rid of you and get you off the phone. And I've called them approximately 3 times, I believe it is, on one night, trying to get something resolved so I could open up my account. Finally, I said on the 4th time, I says, I'm not going to deal with them anymore. I'm going to use Remitly. And since I've used Remitly, I don't have any problems. Now, again, Remitly, and I've learned this before from other people and from doing it myself, any of these money transfer things, you should always send smaller amounts. If you send the larger amounts, it flags your account. Even as little as $2,000 or $3,000 would flag your account in some cases. Also, when you're sending money to if you send money to a Filipina, a lot of time that flags your account because they think the person is a scammer. They'll send you back a thing, or they'll just shut it off. Then when you call, they'll say, do you know this person? Or you call them up and say, why isn't this transfer going through? They'll say, do you know this person? Have you met this person? Just to make sure you're not getting scammed, because they don't want you to come back at them later on and say, well, hey, it's Western Union's fault. You must have knew she was a scammer or something. And you know what I mean? So it makes it harder for us to send money to our girlfriends or whatever. Now, my girlfriend, I've been sending money to her for a long time. And I started slowly, little by little, sending her money. And I send her my budget each month. And she pays everything off of that. And it works really, really good. But just, you got to go slow. And a lot of guys just jump in and dive in. And they want to send their retirement money over here in one lump. Don't do it that way. Do it slowly but surely. Send it little by little, and you'll be way better off that way. Sometimes I even send like 600, 600, and 600 or something like that. And then the rest I bank in the bank or whatever. I send what I need, and sometimes I send it to my girlfriend. Sometimes I send it to myself over here in my account, depending on what I need the money for. Because I have my own account over here. I have my BDO account. I have my girlfriend's account, which I send the budget to, and she takes care of the whole budget and pays for everything and takes care of everything that way. But think before you do things. And also, guys, when you're coming over here, make sure you have emergency money with you. Have a couple $1,000, $2,000 with you for emergency currency. God forbid you can't get a hold of some money or something like that. And also make sure you have a power of attorney back home, that if you have a banking issue, they can walk into the bank and say, hey, what's going on? Why is the account locked? I'm the power of attorney for Joe Blow, and I'm representing him right now. I want to have this account open back up. What's going on? At least they can fix it, or they can even, if they have to, open up an account and have the money transferred over if they're not going to reopen it or whatever, or take it to another bank or what have you. They can do all that for you. And just make sure that they have that power, that you give them that power to do that. Make sure it's also somebody that you trust too. Don't give it to somebody that you wouldn't trust, because if you have a lot of money in there, there's always that chance that they could take off with your money or something if it's not something that well or whatever. And a lot of guys, they're estranged from their families or whatever. Make sure it's somebody you really know well, a cousin or whoever, a brother. Or it could be anybody in your family. Somebody that's going to be around for a long time that's probably going to outlive you is better. I tell people, don't put younger people handling your money. That's somebody that's just not trustworthy. You know, a lot of the younger kids today, they have no idea what's going on until they reach their 30s or 40s. I just wouldn't trust them. I would trust somebody like that you really know well. I have a person back home that I trust impeccably. I worked with a lady for a long time, and she's like a sister to me. And we don't talk that much, but I trust her impeccably because she's always been there for me and always pulled through for me. And every time I ask her for something, I always send her a little cash or whatever, a little gift or whatever, to take care of what she does. And you should be doing that with your power of attorney anyway. And the same with people that do your mail back home or whatever. Take care of those people. But be careful, guys, when you come over here. Be really careful with your money. Make sure you have backups to your backups. Make sure that you have the PIN codes to your credit cards, because your credit cards are a backup emergency. God forbid everything else fails. You need some money. You can go to an ATM machine and take out 200, and 100, from your credit card. Granted, you're going to get slammed with cash advance fees and stuff like that, but at least you got some money. God forbid something happens to you, and that's important. You don't want to be stuck over here or have to borrow money, because you're gonna be hard pressed to find a couple dollars over here to borrow if you don't know that many people, especially when you're fresh off the plane and you're just stuck. If you're stuck in Manila, when you land in Manila and you say, well, I'll use my ATM card when I get off the plane. No. Have cash with you, and have those new $100 bills with you. New $100 bills have with you. Or transfer the money into pesos before you even come. Some of it, you're only allowed a certain amount. Go online, check what the amount is, and you can find that out on Google or whatever. I'm not sure what the exact amount is, but you can also do that and just take over the amount, the max amount if you want to, or just take over what you need. And that way there, you got some money that way too. But make sure you tell your banks that you're going to be using your ATM card in the Philippines or what have you, and that way there, you'll be all set. But anyway, guys, God bless. I got my little... Say hi. Say hi. That's my godchild, guys. She likes to come in and interrupt me all the time. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope that helps out, guys, because that is really key, guys. God bless. Take care.